Good afternoon, everyone, and
Good afternoon.
welcome to all of you in such a important subject, BIS. We have our knowledge partner and very close association with REACHLaw, and we have the faculty, Mr. Gagan, as well as the Ms. Rashmi. And as you quite aware, because a lot of member also here, I'm seeing in the list. EEPC is always trying to aware and educate our members on the different standards, and especially on the current scenario, the demand pattern, because of the lot of uncertainties and the external things are happening, and the very non-conventional things are happening. So in this point of time, such kind of standards, knowledge, awareness is very much required. So that's why we have invited REACHLaw to give the proper presentation and educate or aware our members. As a EPC, lot of the non-member also here. So just for I will take only the 1 or 2 minutes. So EPC, as a Model Export Promotion Council, we are always trying to upgrade or educate the members. As of now, we have more than 10,000 members, those who are pan-India. And our contribution in the total exports is around 28% of the total exports from India. And this, especially the BIS, is very much required because of the percentage of value-added items in the total exports. And I think it's very less. Whatever we are exporting, the value-added items are the percentage is very less. So such kind of awareness is very much required. So I request Gagan, over to you. Let's start. And after your presentation, we'll take up the one-to-one questions and answer. And if during the presentation, if any participants feel any questions, they can write in the chat box. Then Gagan and Rashmi will take the questions from the chat box also, and they will start discussion. Over to Gagan.
Thank you, Rakesh ji, for a very warm introduction, and I think setting the base of sharing the importance of this government aim of Viksit Bharat. I think BIS is going to play a big role in this ambitious journey of the nation. And we as participants, industry, as well as associations are playing a stakeholder of this entire program. So I think it's good that you are participating in this session. We have almost 63 participants, and I'm very happy to see that all of you have taken time from your busy schedule and joining this session. So this session is essentially important because of not only the product certification, but the overall aim that government is looking for creating a good quality product in India, manufactured in India, and then it should be available also outside India. And EEPC has a big role as an export promotion council to really see made in India products in other countries. So I would be very happy to visit anywhere and seeing made in India, not made in Germany or made in Vietnam or made in Bangladesh. So BIS certification, the mark that they have, and that is the, I guess, most important thing that we all should participate and support authorities in reaching that goal. And we have to see this as a positive development by the country, and it's important that we all share and try to see that how we can eventually bring this to success. So with this, I once again welcome you all on behalf of EEPC, giving us this wonderful opportunity to speak. So let's start this session. I'll moderate this session. I'm also the speaker, and then let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Gagan Kumar. I'm the Managing Director of REACHLaw India Private Limited. I'll also briefly introduce our company. I'm based out of New Delhi, and I've been, by background, I'm an engineer. I'm supporting all kind of compliances and regulatory matters, including advice to companies to see how they can achieve full compliance with the organization changes. And so that's me. I'm into this business since more than 15 years. And now I'm taking the leadership role in terms of handling this compliances. I also look after sales in the company. And today I also have my colleague. I request Rashmi, if you introduce yourself, please. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Rakeshji. Thank you, Gagan, and hello, everyone. And I welcome you all to our joint webinar with EEPC. I am Rashmi Srivastava, and I work as Senior Manager at REACHLaw India. I have more than 13 years of experience in regulatory domain, where I have worked with several global regulation. And now with REACHLaw, I manage BIS certification and other Indian compliance requirement. So in today's webinar, I will help you to understand the scope of product under mandatory certification, the process, timeline, requirements of certification, some ongoing requirements, post-license requirements. So to start with the webinar, I will hand over this again to Gagan. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashmi, for the introduction. So let's proceed for this session. We have, I think, 60 minutes to cover this session, but apologies in advance if it goes beyond this time limit. Please stick with us if you can. And if you have meetings, this session is being recorded and you will receive recording of this session post this webinar. So here are the topics. What we are looking at, I'll introduce my company briefly, and then help you understand the roles of the authorities and what kind of regulations they are responsible for, and what are these regulations. Then I will also talk about the certifications, which are kind of I would call them market access requirements, because if you are manufacturing those products, you need these certifications to actually manufacture those products. And meaning that you are really required to have these, like you have GST, you have those Factory Act, and you have those kind of certifications. So this is really to help you produce those products in the country, as well as if you are importing these products into the India, then you also need these certifications to access India market. Then Rashmi will talk about product scope. She will also be explaining the process, timeline, which is very important for you to handle this project management at your end, and data requirements. Then because of these certification, it's not lifetime valid. It requires an renewal, and it requires a lot of, I would say, activities evolving, what kind of regulatory changes are coming. So you need to really ensure that you have resources in place to manage those ongoing compliances, and you need to communicate with authorities more often in order to maintain the compliance. And then what happens in the market surveillance? I believe all of you, and we are also hearing the news of a lot of e-commerce are being inspected, and they are violating certain norms under BIS. These materials are confiscated and leading to brand image loss. So it's important that market surveillance is taken very seriously. It involves your supplier, it involves your stock of your material, it involves wherever your material is used or stocked in India, so that it is used for certain period of time. Then I'll again talk about the cost, which is, I think, the important subject for the participants to see what kind of fees we are looking at, what kind of cost we have for these certifications. And we've been transparent in the sense that you could do this also at your end. I think it's something which is not very difficult. You need to know where these costs are located, and these are fixed costs, and you can always calculate these costs when you budget these certifications for the management approvals, because it requires finance. So you need a proper budgeting for before you start the certification. You need to be unsure that what kind of cost you're looking to incur and how you manage those compliances going forward. So there will be these costs and renewal cost also that you need to consider in the budgeting. And then I'll conclude and give some takeaways. We will then, as Rakesh ji mentioned, at the end we will have Q&A, and in the between you can always use chat box. So let's start with this session. I'll briefly introduce REACHLaw. REACHLaw is a Finland-based organization. Our head office is in Helsinki, Finland, and we are essentially providing all kind of regulatory compliance services for companies to access market, and more than 50 plus professionals into different segments. Each regulation required different expertise by education as well as by experience. So this is what we try to lead this segment. We now operate in 7 countries and 8 cities. In India, we are operating from New Delhi and in Mumbai. These are some of the regulatory areas that we are actively supporting companies, and but you can find more information on the website. So we are essentially into product regulatory compliance and advocacy and sustainability services, now helping global companies access market as well as meet compliances in the industries they are placing their products into. And these are our service verticals, and starting with the chemical compliances, then we have product compliances, where I would say this BIS certification will fall under. So this is the vertical where we have product compliances. So each product used for different industries would require certifications, and BIS is a kind of quality control compliance, which ensure that the only good quality products are used in India and manufactured in India. So this is a product compliance for us. Then advocacy and sustainability is a high-end services, where I guess when you know regulation a bit more and you have people who understand the regulation and you have experience from the companies you provide services, you interact with authorities, you interact how they're working, their working culture, how authorities are deciding, when they're deciding, how they're deciding. So those are the areas where I think we lead and we can advocate, meaning we can support your interest. And here I think EEPC role is very important. So when you talk to EEPC, they really protect your interest. And of course, they are kind of bridging your issues to how you write your communications to ministry, for example, how you write communications to the BIS, whom you should talk to. So if you're not member of EEPC, please enroll it immediately, because they will support you in this licensing work. They will support you how to manage these communications, and they talk to government every day. So try to understand that how much value they will bring when you talk to them. So it's always important to, I think, hear them, respond to their emails, and see they are here to support you. So we will also add value here when it comes to the regulatory understanding, but they are also kind of a player which will help us in advocacy. And last but not least, the sustainability, which is very much there in the balance sheets now of the companies, to see that we are really sustainable, not only by products, but the people you use and how you use these people to make those products that are sustainable. And you are also protecting environment where these people are working and products are being manufactured. So I guess sustainability will stay and will lead this overall game of compliances, where things are more sustainable. And we at REACHLaw are doing some kind of support with CBAM, which is one of the leading carbon border adjustment mechanism. And this is something also for metals that will come as a value-added item. And these are some of our products specific to the BIS certification services. We, of course, support companies with the scoping and budgeting, which is, I think, the starting point. Here, the regulation is not giving clear indications that your product requires certifications or not. And you have to go through several documents to really make this judgment. So this is where we see that we can add value by giving these services to the companies to understand what product would require certifications and what would be the cost of that certification. So this is something which we handle with also with the authorities to do this conclusion. All borderline cases are very critical, and this is how we support. And then our end-to-end certification service, because that allows you to focus on your manufacturing, and we support you with the regulatory compliance. The reason is that not many companies have regulatory function in place. They are often giving this task because being a technical, so you are asking your quality person to take care of the BIS certification, which essentially not their profile. And they are not well designed in terms of handling the regulatory compliance. They have to really go through the lot of regulatory documents, and of course their role is important because it's a product quality control requirement. But since they have an add-on responsibility, and this is sometimes not very, I would say, not the subject that they like doing, and handling authorities and external communications, all kind of things that they have not done from what they are looking into this segment. So here we provide these end-to-end certification service, and then you can focus more on your business that you do. And then authorized India representative is essentially for foreign manufacturers. We support in testing, how to understand the standards, how to define the testing. Then this certification requires inspection. We will also discuss that. We also support that, how you mark your products with the certifications, where you have to mark, how you have to mark, those also. And then some maintenance related support, which is essential considering the routine requests coming from the authorities. And these are the location of our offices in India at New Delhi and Mumbai. I would also request to go to our YouTube. We have more than 100 videos. We have also BIS certification videos. And I would encourage you to subscribe. It's a free channels. So you can always go and subscribe to a newsletter via LinkedIn also, where we can share upcoming news also, including BIS certifications. All are free of cost. You just need to subscribe it by visiting these web pages. Usual disclaimer, which is required by my lawyers to read. So we are sharing this content, but it's something which represents or no warranties are provided. So accuracy of this presentation, it's on own discretion. And if you are trying to use this information for your own internal purposes, please obtain permission from REACHLaw. Okay, so now I think we are ready to proceed with the content that we would like to share. With the authority, I think, as I said, the BIS, starting with the BIS, because BIS is as a kind of implementing authority. They will support government to implement this certification, meaning that they will use their resources to guide you on the application. They will accept your applications. They will give you the certification number, license number. They will process your applications. They will maintain your applications. They will also handle all kind of inspections. So all practical work that is required to achieve the license is done by the BIS. And they are basically a body which is formed under the BIS Act 2016, as you see on your right hand side, and the head office is in New Delhi. This is the building. Previously it was ISI, it was Indian Standard, and the name of Bureau of Indian Standard is that they are now providing certifications apart from other services. They are also giving accreditation to the laboratories so they can help achieve the full compliance for the conformity assessment schemes and do a third-party testing verification. So that's also their services. And BIS Act 2016 is the model regulation which says that the authority should be there which will implement these regulations. But for you to understand what is the regulation that you actually working is the BIS Conformity Assessment Regulations 2018. There are certain amendments to this regulations on kind of fees, these formats and other things, but the basis remains same. And the mandate is, of course, to have satisfy the customer needs for the quality. So the quality is something which they would like at the core of a product that we manufacture in India is the right quality. And this quality can be accepted in any countries. This is how the BIS is working. They are actually coordinating the standards requirement with ISO, which is a well-recognized testing standards. And which means that if you obtain a BIS Indian according to the Indian standard, and it is already aligned with the ISO standard, so you will not find any difficulty in exporting your products to other countries, apart from certain other. But then the core testing, the infrastructure that you have, the product that you have would meet these additional requirements easily. And that's the aim, that you make in India and you can export to other countries. If you have a certification, it will help you access those markets. The Indian standards are around 23,000, and it's actually adding up very rapidly. So any standard that you have in the country, you can actually get the certification on voluntary basis. But government has given certain standards out of these 23,000, some around several thousands. The products are coming under mandatory certification, where you need to have the certification to manufacture these products into the country or bring them into the country. Otherwise, you will not be able to do business with India. And they have regional offices, they have branch offices, and I think the objective is very clear, that they want to have quality assurance and control. This standardization is important, so you don't end up doing testing in India and then testing in other countries to get these certifications. So they are trying to do this work, and every year they are doing this kind of meeting with German Chamber of Commerce or Italian or others manufacturing economies, so they can align their standards and see that the products made in India are well accepted worldwide. So BIS certification actually give you more visibility in other markets. That's what they are aiming for. They have different departments. I think the most important departments for you is standard development. If you don't have your product standard, if you want to come and see that you have a good product in the country and you want to have a standard for that product so that it can be a benchmark for the country to have that quality product. So why don't you make a standard with the government? There is a set process of making a standard. So you can always, we can always guide, or you can always talk to them that I would like to have my own product standard, so that this is the quality that should be used in India by the consumers. Then certification scheme is the product certification, CRS, compulsory registration of the foreign manufacturer. This is also the important department, and different hierarchies, different people are working here. So I would say that these are the two, but then there are other departments, but these are the two important departments that require coordination and work ongoing for the certification requirements. BIS is coming under Ministry of Consumer Affairs and Food and Public Distribution. So this is the ministry where they are taking orders from. But the BIS Act actually gives the power to the central government. Central government, when I say central government, there are 15 line ministries, as you see in this slide. So all the ministries in the country are responsible for the GDP and the economy, and they are kind of making decisions that which are the products they would like to control and bring under the mandatory certification scheme by issuing the quality control orders. So these are the product regulations or quality control orders. And this is something which is also a process, how it is designed. And the ministry is responsible for these quality control orders. So they are the actual regulator, the authority, and BIS is implementing that quality control order through this certification scheme and process. But this is something which is important, that and here we are talking about two ministries. Ministry of Heavy, we are covering two schemes in this. I will show in the later part of the slide, but this is number 10, Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises, and then all other ministries under scheme 1. So Here it is something that you have different departments, different people to coordinate, to work, to see that how they protect your interest in this. So it's tricky, but yes, the how you approach remains same. The methodology is same. Okay, so these are the regulators, and the BIS Act allows them to add any product under certification for which the standard is available, or they can ask BIS to make the standard for that product. Then we are talking about scheme 1, which is the ISI mark. I think everybody is familiar of ISI mark. If we drink bottled waters, then they have an ISI mark on the label. So means the water you are drinking is safe. And this is the scheme 1, which is ISI mark scheme. Each scheme is a framework which designs the scope, the process, the fees, the labeling, the conditions, the validity, the renewal, and how you change your product scope. So what products you are certifying now, how you add more products, then when do you see your license can be suspended or cancelled, what are the conditions for that, are also defined in this framework. So these 12 chapters are defining in this scheme 1, which is conformity regulation schedule 2. So we are talking on scheme 1, and we'll speak more on this scheme 1, which is more scope. I think we will see what the product scope Rashmi will explain, but this is the scheme 1, which is kind of important now. Okay, so ISI is something which I would like to see in other countries, these products. So this is very much, as an Indian, I would like to see. Then this is the scheme X. This is also a logo which will mark scheme X, and scheme X is very new scheme, which is a framework defining on machines and electrical equipments. So the machines that we are, it's a kind of capital investment and the capital goods. So they are very backbone of any manufacturing industry. So the government is trying to see that we do these things in India. Right now, it's, let's say, a lot of is imported from Europe, US, and other markets. Then why can't we do this here? Of course, it is not overnight will happen, but at least somebody is thinking like this is also very important. So this is the similar chapters like 12. They start with scope, definitions, process, fees. So you see the same format is there, but yes, the fees would be different here because it's a different scheme. Could be the conditions could be different. The process could be slightly different. But if I see the scheme 1 and scheme X, we will see all the comparison later. But then I would say the cost of scheme 1 is more than scheme X. And the process wise, I say that the scheme X has more filing, more documentation because the product involved than scheme 1. So both have different kind of, I think, similarities and differences, but we will talk more on this in this presentation. Okay, so then quality control order. This is, I think, the one which you have to follow. And this is where your product is mentioned. So here you see on the right hand side the recent quality control order. The quality control order essentially contains these chapters. So they always have, I think, for you to understand, the important is the date of commencement. When is the deadline? So each product has a deadline by which you need to have a certification. Okay, so this deadline of commencement is sometimes when this is notified, and what is the logo that you have to mark, what kind of penalties will come, the prohibition orders, what kind of penalties you will see is under the BIS Act is mentioned, and they have a product standard, like which standard you have to follow. So this is the typical example of a statutory order, SO, and this is defined in the quality control order issued by the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. So DPIIT has issued this order, which is recent for the furniture. And you see the order is 2025. Every year, like 2025, you see the lot of product, this quality control orders are coming up. And they have a deadline also defined here. Okay, so these products shall come into force on the expiry of 12 months from the date of publication of this notification. So 12 months means that from this 13th of February, so 13th of February 2026, all the furniture manufacturers in India needs to have the certification, otherwise they can't manufacture and they are non-compliance. Or if they import furniture, then by this deadline they need to have certification to continue to import into India. So they have very huge impact on the access of the market, and the standard is always covering your product standard, Indian standards, and what is the scope. And all quality controls orders are similar, but it has to be, the standard is very important. So we will see the standard. I think we have one slide on the standard. Yes, this is the one on the Indian standard. So Indian standards is free or sometimes paid. You can download it from the BIS website, and it will cover your product information, what it contains, details on the testing equipments, the testing, how it has to be done. So it is written, well written through the quite stakeholder, like you are also part of these. So they have a defined cross references sometimes that what these standards are. So within standard, you have more standards to follow. This is how the cross references are said. Then each standard has scope. What is the scope? Whether your product is exempted for certain, let's say, market. Let's say recently the steel government, they have, I think, medical equipments are exempted recently because of the use in surgical, and so it's, the government is very accommodating. You see that the decisions they are issuing is in the interest that they understand this and they are accommodating this. So that's, the association roles is very important here. And this Indian standards are scope, requirements, testing, sampling, packaging, marking, and cross-reference. So this is all kind of things which you have to read very carefully, and then you are able to apply for the certifications. And this is where the sometimes consultant role is important. Then product manual is sometimes available, sometimes they are in development phase, but this is more of a practical document to handle the certification under these schemes. And they also used by the inspectors to inspect your factories. So it's important to follow this product manual if it is available. We recommend that. Okay, so then types of certifications, we have different types, but in this presentation, we are covering scheme 1, which is covering quite many products and ISI mark. And then scheme X, which is also having this mark, and mainly for machine electrical equipments. So this is something which I guess I have taken more time than assigned for me. Apologies. But I think over to you, Rashmi, to take you through that. And I'll come back from 9 on the cost part. Thank you.
Thank you, Gagan, for walking us through BIS regulation and authorities. And since we are talking about different schemes of certification, so it would be good to understand the product which mandatory requires BIS certification, which we will see under this product scope for both Scheme 1 and Scheme X. Next, please. So if you see, this is the list of products under Scheme 1. So more than 102, 102 categories covering almost 689 items. And all these are different product segment coming up from different line ministries, and all of them have different deadlines as well. So just to name like some of toys, steel, footwear, aluminum, furnitures, electrical appliances, these are the various categories which are being covered under Scheme 1. And this requires, as Gagan mentioned, like with the date of implementation, it will become mandatory to have this BIS license. Either you manufacture in India or you import in India. So for both foreign manufacturers and Indian manufacturer, it will apply to get this certification. Next one. So just to name, like this list has grown recently, and some of the upcoming QCO, if you see on my screen, safety of household, commercial and similar electrical appliances. So this is recent QCO from 2024, and the deadline spreads over from March to September 2026, depending upon the company size. So larger companies have the earlier deadline in comparison to SME. So it goes likewise. Second one is hand tool. For hand tool also, the deadline starts from October 25 till April 2026. And for furniture, which is very recent one, we have a deadline from Feb 2026 to August 2026. So many more QCOs are there, and even the existing QCOs, the products under QCOs sometimes gets extended. So the deadlines also extends, and then we have some more time to get this certification. But this is recent one, and we haven't yet uh, cross the first timeline. So it is good to comply with the given timeline to meet the compliance in time. Next one. This is product under Scheme X, which is again a very recent scheme from BIS, and it has more than 20 categories covering more than 400 plus items. So the first deadline to implement for this categories of product was August 2025, which recently got extended, and now we have a time to comply by September 2026. So again, these products are listed by HS code. If you see the right side, HS codes are listed, and any of these products like machineries, components, sub-assemblies, assemblies, any part being manufactured or being imported into India, and if they have similar HS code, will have obligation to get the machinery certified. So this is again, we have a deadline next year for all these products. So next slides also covers the product segment. So it has 20 categories. Just to show those categories, next please. So these are the complete list of product under Scheme X. Next one. So we will try to understand both for Scheme 1 and Scheme X, what are the process and timeline with the next slides. So we can move next one. So this is the process and timeline for Scheme 1. So for Scheme 1, we have two different type of certification for Indian manufacturers and a separate process for foreign manufacturer. So if you compare with the timeline, the Indian manufacturer need lesser time to get the BIS certification in comparison to the foreign manufacturer. And also with requirement, there is some difference, some additional requirements for the foreign manufacturers are applicable. So if we see for Indian manufacturer, the first one is option 1, which we also call as normal procedure. For Indian manufacturer, the process to apply for certification is online. So we have a portal, Manak portal, BIS Manak portal, wherein we can register. The entity first need to register with the basic details about the company. And then we can submit the application. We will see the requirements in the later slide, but all this application info will go online to BIS. Once this application is reviewed by BIS, BIS will nominate this for the next step, which is on-site factory inspection. So someone from the BIS, any of the office, branch office or head office will be visiting your premises, manufacturing plant to visit, to inspect those information, especially factory testing, manufacturing machinery. So these are critical. Who is your quality person? So these information will again be validated during the time of inspection. Also, the inspector will be withdrawing the sample for testing to third-party lab. So it also depends of sometime, like if the product doesn't have a BIS approved lab. In fact, in-house test reports also works. But in general, the process says that sample will be withdrawn for third-party testing as well. Once these reports are submitted and if it is compliant, further the grant of license is done by BIS. So this is somewhere it takes 90 days once we submit the application to BIS. The other option is option 2, which was earlier known as simplified process, which gets completed into 30 days and is easier, but there should be a lab for this. So the process starts like the manufacturer on the basis of self-compliance can get the sample tested beforehand from any of the BIS accredited lab. And then with the test report, application can be submitted to BIS. And then there again will be a factory inspection, which is the normal process in all the schemes of BIS. So then again, this factory inspection will happen. But here, they will not wait for the report from the third party, as the sample will be withdrawn and tested, but they will not wait for the test report from third party. Rather, based on the report which was submitted earlier before application, the testing was done, based on that only, the license will be granted. So this is more based on self-compliance. And it takes lesser time, like in 30 days, 1 month, the license is granted. So these two type of options are there for Indian manufacturer. And also there is a list of product attached as an annexure, wherein the products are mentioned which can be applied for under this normal process or the simplified procedure, option 1 or option 2. And in some case, it could be a case that in option 2, we don't have a BIS approved lab. So in that case, we can go with the option 1 also. So this is about the domestic manufacturers. And if we talk about foreign manufacturers, so in foreign manufacturer, there is an additional requirement which starts nomination of authorized Indian representative. So an individual person as an AIR has to be appointed first, because the person detail will go in the application. So this is also a mandatory requirement, and there are certain documentation towards this AIR role. Now, for this domestic manufacturing, we have online application submission process, but for foreign manufacturers, still the submission goes manually, meaning that all the documents will be signed by the applicant and then submitted to the BIS. So far, there is no portal for foreign manufacturers to submit the application. Once this application is submitted by foreign manufacturer, it will again be reviewed for any discrepancy. So after BIS reviews this, and it goes to the next level, which is nomination of inspection. After inspector is nominated, both the parties can mutually agree, because it's in different country, happening in different country, this audit will happen. So it needs to be mutually agreed on the dates, and process of visa and travel accommodation and everything also takes time. So this will happen in the second step. Someone from BIS will be visiting to the foreign country, foreign manufacturing site, and same activity will happen here also, that they will validate the machineries, they will test their the product using in-house lab. A sample will be withdrawn for third-party testing, and it will be sealed over there, and it will be sent to the India. And then if the reports from both the inspector and the labs are compliant, then this case will move further for grant of license. Now here the additional requirement comes is agreement and indemnity, which is only signed by the foreign manufacturer. So AIR here will, on behalf of the licensee, foreign licensee, will be signing this agreement and indemnity at BIS office. So we have a separate department, Foreign Manufacturer Certification Department, FMCD, where this activity will happen, and someone like AIR and someone as a witness has to visit this, sign this document at the office, wherein the head of the FMCD will also sign the same document. So this is something additional requirement. Again, performance bank guarantee of 10,000 USD. This is also a mandatory requirement post license. There is a certain time period, like after grant of license, there is 45 days to submit this PBG to bank. So this is a bank to bank guarantee. The foreign manufacturer need to initiate this process, and there is corresponding bank in India can submit this guarantee to to BIS. So if you see, the timeline here is 180 days, which is 6 months in the regulation, but we generally see it takes more time because of this process of on-site factory inspection happening outside India. It additionally takes more time to coordinate and align for the inspection. So this is about scheme 1, where we have this ISI mark, uses of ISI mark post grant of license. Next, please. So for scheme X, we have for Indian manufacturer this online application submission, although the portal is not live as of now. It is in working, and from recent update, we understand by August, BIS is planning to launch this portal wherein online application can be submitted. However, the very first stage, which we call it as a OTR registration, because this Scheme X is Omnibus Technical Regulation, in short OTR. So that is happening. So there at BIS portal, we can register the company, we can register the product for which we are going to apply. But this is very initial stage at sort of inventory for BIS, which is happening, and same portal will further expand it to accept the application. So online application and technical file submission to BIS via portal will happen. So we are also waiting when it gets started, but it is most likely to be active in this month itself. Then on-site factory inspection, once this application and technical file is submitted, BIS will have a desk audit first for the information which we have submitted. And after which, if BIS has further query, it will come back to the applicant to answer those. And once this is completed, again, this will go to the next stage, which is on-site factory inspection. Here again, the same activity will happen, and it depends on the number of man days for factory inspection. As per guideline is as of now 4 days, but again it depends upon the number of technical file we are submitting in under one application. So based on number of technical file, BIS will be communicating the number of man days for the inspection, number of people visiting for the inspection, because it could be a case that different expertise people are required to inspect the manufacturing site. So then we need to wait for that. Then some sample testing. Again, it could be a case that in-house factory testing is utilized, or maybe sample, if it is feasible to send it to lab for testing, then it could be a third-party lab testing also. And after that, based on a compliant report, the case will further proceed for grant of license. Although we don't have a very clear indication of the timeline in the guidelines, but what we have discussed with BIS and what we have update we have, and based on scheme 1, it is 90 days, which they are saying. But we don't have a clear guideline for the timeline for this under the guideline. For foreign manufacturer, again, it is a manual application submission. So far, no portal. And the process is almost similar. We start with the authorized Indian representative, submission of manual application and technical file to BIS. On-site factory inspection will happen, sample testing, grant of license, and similar to Scheme 1, we have this agreement and indemnity and performance bank guarantee of 180 days. The difference with the Scheme 1 and Scheme X for the factory inspection is that number of days and number of officers coming. Scheme 1, it is a 2 man days mandatory for foreign manufacturer, and for domestic it is 1 man day. But again, it depends upon the number of product and if the inspection is clubbed for 2 manufacturing units. So it may vary, but again, the guideline says it's 2 man days for foreign manufacturer. However, in Scheme X, it is minimum 4 man days, which can increase also based on your volume of your technical file. So yeah, next please. Yeah, let's see the data requirement towards the application and technical file for both the scheme 1 and X. Next one. So for Scheme 1, we do not have a technical file submission. It is to this is application form, and along with application form, we have some supporting documents related to the product, related to the manufacturing premises. So application form 5 is the main application form, wherein we need to provide some basic information about the company, office address, authorized representative, contact person from the entity size, which product standard we are applying for. So such detail goes under the application form 5. If it is for foreign manufacturer, then we have to nominate someone as a AIR using form 6. So 3 highlighted blue text, these are only for foreign manufacturer. Then we need to submit the manufacturing machinery list. So again, they have a set format, form 1, wherein a manufacturer need to list down all those machineries which are being utilized for the production of that particular product, which is under the scope. And also need to provide the process flowchart and a descriptive summary of the process. Then they have to also share the list of test equipment in the form 2. So all those test equipment, and these test equipment must align to the Indian standard. So as Gagan also mentioned, Indian standard has all the scope, testing, test requirements. So one need to understand what testing is as per IS, and should have all the test equipments. So Indian standard also aligns with other international standards. So if you are using different standard, just read out these Indian standard. There may be an option which accommodates other international standards also. But whatever option it is given in Indian standards, the applicant should have those test equipment, because this is very critical. This is going to be used during the audit as well. So they will be using all the test equipments and parameters according to Indian standard. Now all the valid calibration certificates of testing equipment is required. Appointment letter, qualification and experience detail of the lab person. Also BIS in their product manual will have this proposed level of control for inspection and testing, which we call as SIT. So that also needs to be shared, what all control measures are being followed by the manufacturer. Format of test report is there, which is form 4, wherein you have to share the test report as per Indian standard. Also, layout of your plant premises is required, and also here you need to clearly mark that your manufacturing happens in the same premises, your marking, labeling, storage of raw material, dispatch, everything happens from the same premises, and it is important because this license is granted to the manufacturing premises. Therefore, it is important that all this activity happens in the same premises. Then manufacturing location plan, like someone coming from, let's say, New Delhi to the location of manufacturer, so that location plan is required. How you dispose your substandard product, that is also need to be declared. A simple organizational chart of the factory. And then if you are a foreign manufacturer, then agreement indemnity. Here BIS has a format for this, agreement and indemnity, and performance bank guarantee. So this is the requirement, data requirement towards scheme 1. And this needs to be submitted at one go, which BIS will review. And in case they observe any discrepancy, they may request you for further information, post which only this nomination of inspection will happen. And again, some of the documents will be again utilized for during the inspection. Maybe you are submitting the manufacturing machinery list, but during the inspection, the inspector may request you to change as per the requirement. So some suggestions may come from inspector as well, which may need to be revised during the audit. Next one. So this is data requirement regarding Scheme X. And in Scheme X, we have two separate documentation. One is application, which is very similar to the Form 5 of Scheme 1. Almost it is, the requirements are same. We are providing the name of the entity, office address, factory address, product, quantity. So supporting documents like your company establishment. So such supporting documents are required. So it is very similar. And this is one application per manufacturing premises we are submitting. In Scheme 1, if you have 2 or 3 different products, meaning that you have 2 or 3 different Indian standard in the same manufacturing premises, then you have to submit separate applications and it will be counted as a separate license. However, in Scheme X, if you have multiple products in the same premises under this omnibus technical regulation, then you have submitting only one application form, and under which you can have multiple technical files. So requirements of application form is simple and it's very much similar to Scheme 1. Next one. This is similar, like for the nomination of AIR, we are giving this representation, and it is applicable to foreign manufacturer only. Next one. This is the important part, like technical file. So this is technical file checklist, wherein we have to provide more information about the product, and the recent guideline which has been published by BIS has made some more changes in that. So this is like requirement of some 15-16 documents which they are asking for, and they have given more clarification now that to what extent information has to be shared. Because if you read the Omnibus Technical Regulation, there are many schedule like Schedule A, B, C, and B and C have more specific requirements of Indian standard, but it is generally not applicable for each type of machinery or if you have sub-assembly or component level. So now they have given a clarification that to an extent and applicable on your product, you have to provide this information. So at very first stage, the technical file starts with you need to provide the product description with variety. Maybe you have number of grades or size. So whatever type of product you want to list down under the same family of the product, you have to provide the information. Specified requirement applicable for the product. So as I mentioned, type B and type C under the regulation has defined the specific Indian standard. And if it is applicable to your product, then you need to comply with those Indian standard requirement. If not, then it is not applicable on the product. Then photographs for the identification purpose, manufacturer's name and complete address. And again, it is like I mentioned in scheme 1, you have to give the location plan and plant layout. For traceability purpose, you have to give the details, something like your brand name, trademark, or maybe if you are using batch or lot number, something which is traceable back. So that detail has to come. Details of design of the product, including drawing. So whatever it is applicable, you can provide to that extent. Raw material, including components. So for raw material also compliance needs to be checked. You also need to validate your raw material doesn't falls under any mandatory BIS certification. So if it is falling under any BIS mandatory certification, then you need to show the compliance for that. And if it is not under any mandatory certification, then you can use like supplier test report, or you may get tested in your own lab, or you may get tested from the third party lab. So anything which shows the compliance of the raw material. Description of manufacturing process. So to the extent where you can share this process, that has to be shared. If you are subcontracting any of the manufacturing part, then you need to also share the copy of agreement or consent that this activity is happening with the second party. So those information. Next one. Product compliance report. This is to all applicable specified requirements. Like specified requirement is also always the Indian standard requirement. So it can be from manufacturer's own lab or through subcontracted arrangement. It can be shared. Details of in-house quality assurance measures, which is again the SIT. So here you can share your inspection plan or whatever applicable in your case. So that can be shared. Test equipment list, calibration for those test equipment list, instruction for use, maintenance, installation, safe operation, anything which is applicable. So these are the mandatory requirements for the bunch of technical file. And here you need to understand how many technical files for your complete portfolio needs to be prepared. The guidelines for all product categories are slowly coming up. So BIS has started publishing the guideline, and I think for 4 categories it's already live, but for just check for your product segment, and there we have a clear guidance how to prepare the technical file, how we can cover our all grades under the same technical file. So deciding on the number of technical file is very important under Scheme X. Next, please. Okay, so this is about, we discussed about process, timeline, data requirements. Now we'll discuss about the ongoing requirements, which is like once we have the license, it is not over. Even after license, we have to comply with many requirements from BIS to continue with the license and keep the license valid. So we'll try to see that. Next one. So once we have the license, we have now the obligation to use this mark on the product. After grant of license, you will get a license number and the right to use this logo. So this is from Scheme 1. This is ISI mark dimension. You can use this dimension. You can print, emboss, put it in your label, maybe a separate label if you already have existing label with all the details. So Indian standard will give you the details post license, what changes need to be made in the label or what additional detail has to come. So the dimensions are given by BIS. You may select any proportion based on your product size and label size and can use this. But this has to happen only after the grant of license. Before grant of license, you cannot use this mark on your product. Next one. This is for Scheme X. This mark has been given in the guideline and the dimensions as well. So accordingly, post grant of license, this needs to be used on your labels. Next one. This is just for example for understanding, because Scheme X we don't have a like certifications license granted, but for Scheme 1, this is for pictorial representation, how you can use. So dimension, as I mentioned, you are free to choose any proposed dimension. You can print it, you can emboss it. Indian standard, you need to refer that what all information as per Indian standard should come on the label. If there is any additional marking requirement based on the product category, that is also listed in the Indian standard, that also needs to be included on the labels or the product. Sometimes due to nature of product, it is not possible to mark it on the product. So BIS also allows to use it on test certificate. So for in case the product is liquid or directly forced into the vessel. So in that case, it is moving through pipeline and not possible to mark. So in that scenario, we have this test certificate where we can use the license mark and number. Next one. Now, with this after license ongoing requirement, we have this marking fee, which is only for Scheme 1. So products under Scheme 1 needs to pay the marking fee even before grant of license. As a communication of confirmation that we are going to get the license, BIS will communicate with the marking fee. So BIS has fixed advance marking fee for each IS. So it will vary depending upon the Indian standard. And then it has also fixed a unit rate per product. So initially we pay the advance marking fee to the BIS, and then during the renewal we have to pay, like we have to check the actual volume of product which has been marked, and based on that with unit rate the actual marking fee is calculated. Now if your actual marking fee is suppose is on higher side than what we have paid during the advance marking fee, then you need to pay the differential fee. And in case your actual marking fee comes to be lesser than what you have paid in the during the advance payment, then there is no action required. So this has to be, and this process is continuous, because what we every year we are paying the advance marking fee at the time of renewal, and then we have in the next cycle we calculate and we pay the actual marking fee. So this is also ongoing requirement and need to be budgeted as well. So this varies based on the type and scale of enterprises as well. So for large entity they have a different fee, for SME they have a different fee, and foreign manufacturers are default considered as a large entity. So this also needs to be budgeted. And this information is public. So on BIS website, you can easily check like what is the marking fee for your product. So with Indian standard, if you know the Indian standard for your product, you can beforehand check, like not even before the grant of license, you can check the information regarding the marking fee. Next one. Yes, so we are talking about the license renewal. So both Scheme 1 and Scheme X has this provision to get the license renewed. So once we get the first time license, it has a limited validity. For Scheme 1, we get for 1 year in foreign manufacturer, and for domestic, it varies up to 5 years. So here we have a renewal form which we should use, and with details like self-compliance report, production detail, or CA certified production detail. All these documentations will be submitted to BIS. And if you are a foreign manufacturer, then you also need to submit an extended PBG, because the performance bank guarantee should always be 6 months more than the validity of license. So this is in case of foreign manufacturers only. There is a fee for towards renewal, although it is nominal fee of 1,000 rupees, but there is a fee for renewal. Marking fee, as I mentioned in my previous slide, that has to be paid in advance. And the validity, it could be up to 5 years for domestic manufacturer, and for 1 year for foreign manufacturer. Now Scheme X, although it is too early, but they have given the guidelines for renewal. So similar process is there. Submit application form with necessary documentation. Fee is there. The only difference is that Scheme X has more validity period at first go only. So it is mentioned 3 to 6 years, up to 3 to 6 years. So maximum 3 and maximum 6 and minimum 3 years validity you are going to get in the first license. And license process, renewal process should be initiated before the expiry of first license validity, which at least 3 months before. BIS says at least 3 months before. They should also get sufficient time to review the documents you are submitting and then renew the license in the given timeline. So this is always advisable to start renewal at least 3 months before the license expires. Next one. Change in scope of license or grade inclusion. So yes, suppose we are applying for a license with certain varieties and later we feel we need to include more products from the same family. So there is always a possibility we can do that for Scheme 1. I see some on my screen. If you can remove this. So Scheme 1 has this application.
Rashmi.
Okay, I don't know, but okay.
I don't know why it is happening, but please continue, Rashmi.
Yeah. So for this grade inclusion, again, there is a form under Scheme 1 and whatever new grade or variety you want to get included in that, but it should be under the same product. It should not be entirely different product. So for the same product, if you have more grade or variety, you can get it tested from the BIS approved lab. And with those test report and fee, because there is a fee for per variety or per group. So with that fee, it needs to be submitted to BIS and BIS will review those documents and then will include, and then endorsement will be released by BIS, which will state the inclusion of new varieties. Likewise, Scheme X guidelines also says the similar process wherein product or variety can be added. They do have a processing charges for per application. And once it is completed, it will be included in the existing license. So this is again an ongoing requirement and can happen after grant of license. Next one. Market surveillance. So this is something we are hearing these recent days, like many raids and seize of substandard goods by BIS. So BIS is actively doing this market surveillance, and this is again happening post license to check. The objective is to check that licensee is meeting the compliance. So this is the purpose of market surveillance. Next one. We'll see the types. So this is under the conformity scheme, assessment scheme, and this focus on monitoring of licensed product through surveillance. So BIS has various surveillance measures and which aims to check conformity of certified products to applicable Indian standard. And through this surveillance, it also gives the input and opportunity for improvement of for licensee. So this is happening, and there are different types of market surveillance. We'll see in the next one. Next slide, please. So this is type of surveillance. One is proactive surveillance and one is reactive surveillance. So the proactive surveillance includes pre-market and post-market surveillance. And this is done, as I mentioned, the aim is to ensure the continuous standard of the product. So whether after license, the licensee is complying to the Indian standard, the product being manufactured or coming to India is of the same quality, is adhering to Indian standards. So this is the aim. And if not, then again, it provides licensee an opportunity before the license gets suspended or cancelled. So before that, there is always an opportunity to improve. So this is the aim for under proactive surveillance. And reactive surveillance, this is triggered by consumer complaints. So if somebody is going to complain that this product is bismarcked with the license is not valid, so BIS has an app wherein you can always check the validity of the license and can come to know that yes, this is a valid license on the product and manufactured by the right manufacturer. So in case it is not happening, somebody notice, so it can always be complaint to BIS, bring to the BIS notice, and then this reactive surveillance will happen. And this surveillance may include factory visit for further investigation also. So that depends upon the nature of surveillance. Generally, it is happening the importers are requested to submit the sample. Even BIS officer can visit to the importer warehouse to collect the sample, or importers may also send the. So you will get a request from the generally from the branch office to submit this sample for surveillance purpose. And there is a separate division under BIS who take care of this surveillance. Next one. So under proactive, we have a pre-active market surveillance and post-market surveillance. So the factory surveillance based on product risk assessment, it happens. And as I mentioned, there is a separate division which plans this surveillance. So they have a proper plan of quarterly or monthly surveillance. This also depends upon the season of the product as well, where so many factors are there to decide this surveillance plan, and they have certain numbers fixed, like in a year, how many surveillance has to happen from the particular premises. Also, they have this rotation officer. If somebody is visiting, it is not the same person who is coming always to your premises to collect the sample. And they have specific norms for product needing lots of lot inspection, for example, gas cylinder. So they have a proper guideline. BIS has published its guideline for market surveillance. And post-market surveillance, it's like they procure the sample for testing, and they can be withdrawn from anywhere, like from your importer, throughout your supply chain. And in case they also can ask for the feedback from buyers. So this is the way they are monitoring the compliance, that products are of good quality. It's not that after license, substandard products are being manufactured or being imported. So this is the way how BIS is monitoring their conformity. Next one. So after post surveillance, of course, they have a review. They review all the reports, outcomes, and depending upon the case, it is first attempt, whether it of non-conformity or it's a multiple attempt by the licensee. So depending upon the case, it could be like they cancel the license or they give an opportunity to scope of improvement. So follow-up actions will come from BIS under the rules and regulations, and risk review. So this is about the market surveillance. So BIS is monitoring post license at every stage. They are monitoring, and if you hear many of the e-commerce platforms being rated by the BIS in recent days. So next one. Okay, I think now I will hand over to Gagan again for overview of cost for BIS licensing. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashmi, for the very comprehensive inputs for the participants. I guess it was useful. And I also see that we are exceeding the limit. So I'll see that I'll still cover these important part, and then we come to questions and answer session, which is also very important. So the cost, I think I would try to make it clear for companies that when you estimate cost of BIS certificate, you have 3 parameters here. One of them is the fees that you pay to the authorities. So the statutory fees, I don't know if there is a bug or something, because I don't control these drawings. I'm not drawing this, so I'm be fair with you. But these are 3 parameters. So BIS authority fees are the fees that you pay to the authorities, and these are fixed fees and variable fees. But the charges are well defined in the regulation. So you can see the charges are in Indian rupees, and there is a set regulation which define these fees for Scheme 1 and Scheme X. And you can design your own calculators on these fees. I think it's very easy to determine what is the fee. So BIS authority fees has essentially 5 elements. So the 5th one is more of a bank guarantee. I don't see this as a fee, but yes, I'm adding this as the cost because you need this amount in your bank so that your bank can issue the guarantee. So the bank guarantee is only for foreign manufacturers, and it's up to $10,000 per license. Then the application charges is the first step that you pay the fee. So fees payments are also, I think, in you can say 3 phases. One is that you pay the application charges, and then you are going to the inspection charges, the second stage, and then third would be your marking and the license fee, annual license fee. So these are like 3 phases where you pay the fees to the authority. Now the authority fees are fixed and variable. The variable is, let's say, the marking fees, which Rashmi just mentioned, that it's only for scheme 1 and it is linked to your capacities or the imports that is coming to India for in case of foreign manufacturers. And then the variable is also inspection charges, where the inspection is happening, whether it is within India, then there is not much cost. But when it is outside India, but outside where? Is it in Asia or is it in US or it's Far East or something? So the cost of inspection varies when it comes to the travel charges. So you are also paying the inspector travel charges, meaning accommodation, airfare, and visa charges and all this. So they have fixed cost that they will send it to you once the inspection is nominated. So there is a fixed, there per diem charges like inspection charges that have to pay per day, and then you have travel charges. So this is how it is, inspection charges, and which I think for in case of foreign manufacturer, it is a significant amount. If I look at the total cost, we will see the cost. I have some examples for you. And then advance marking fees is again, it's a rate base, it's a variable. License fee, annual license fees that you have to renew the license, then this is the annual license fee. And then you have a product testing fees, because testing fees are defined by which product we are talking in scope and what is the standard, and what standard is asking you to test, which will decide the testing fees. Then if you use consultant, then you also need to add consultant fee. Okay, and this is maybe that they have a product specific fees, and depending upon what scope you want them to use for, and you also need to budget their fees. So when you add up these, it will give you the budget. So let's see the examples in the next slides. I'm very sorry for this bad slide because of this artwork, which we have not. But this is for Indian standard for scheme 1. So the estimate is one product you have manufactured in one site. So the license is given always for a product and for a site, specific site. So the license will always bear your factory address. If you have 3 factories and you're making same product one in 3 factories, you need 3 licenses. So you need to multiply this by 3. Okay, so the fees will be just multiplication of 3. Of course, there could be some, let's say, combination of travel cost that you would like, and these 3 factories are, let's say, at the same city, but at different plots and different factory areas, then you can club it. But it doesn't matter much. So then this is the fee for the domestic manufacturing location in India. So what we are looking at scheme 1, and let's say it's a typical product there, then you're talking about 3 lakhs approximately Indian rupees. Okay, so this is something that you need to consider, and it's a per product per manufacturing site, always remember. Then we are talking about the foreign manufacturer for the same product, but the site is now Europe or US. So the product is it's same, but then it's a foreign manufacturer certification scheme, and you can see the cost is more than the double. Okay, so we are talking about 7 lakhs Indian rupees, and you have to pay all the fees in US dollars. So all the payments when it is foreign manufacturer, they have to apply for the license. Importer cannot apply for the license. They need the license to clear the goods at the customs, but the foreign manufacturer, only manufacturer has to apply for the license, and they are the applicant, they have to bear the charges. You can agree with your importer that who will bear the charges, but they have to open up their factories for the inspection, and they have to commit that they have to share all the documents required for the certification. But yeah, you can always adjust that your customers bear the charges. So, but then this is something, India market is quite big. I would suggest that this is not that much considering the size of the market you are talking about. So this is the foreign manufacturer, the fees, the BIS fees, and it doesn't include the consultant charges. Okay, so because it varies consultant to consultant, but this is cannot be very significant. The main is the BIS fees that you are paying here, and this is the testing charges is also there. Okay, so let's talk about the Scheme X. The Scheme X generally works with the technical file. The technical file, as Rashmi mentioned, is more of a product which is a different product manufactured the same side, or it has a different altogether shape and design. The typical example is the pump. Pump is a vertical pump, horizontal pump, and different varieties. So then it's a different technical file for that kind of grade. But each pump on a vertical have a different I would say capacities and different, then it's a one technical file covering different grades in that one product segment. But if it's a product altogether different, then it's a second technical file. So this Scheme X is always the technical file is a tricky, and this is where the government, the BIS is also working on the product manuals, grouping guidances to determine this fee for because it is significant. It's okay. So when we talk about the domestic Scheme X manufacturing, again, it's approximately 3 lakhs. And this is how the fees, excluding, of course, only the BIS charges are there. Then the same Scheme X, then we have location is in US, and the product is same. Then we are talking about they have to also incur the inspection charges, travel cost, and we are talking about approximately 6 lakhs. So it's just double the cost of what you are paying as a foreign manufacturer for the license. Okay. So with this, I will conclude. The conclusion is clear that you have to stay up to date for the regulatory requirement. Try to work on your applications well in advance. Don't wait for the deadlines or something to come up. Just proceed with your application, and BIS will guide you and help you achieve the license. So don't wait that your guidance or manuals or anything is not coming. Grouping guidance is not coming. We should wait. Just proceed and don't wait for things to happen. So I would suggest that proactive actions are important. Well prepare for the inspection. See that you have understood the requirements. Whatever you are submitting in your application, both in Scheme 1 and Scheme X, is your technical file is the most important. In Scheme 1 is your, let's say, how you are determining the product testing as per the Indian standard. So this inspection is controlling what you have submitted in your application will be inspected, apart from your factory locations and how you have designed that. But this is something very important, that what goes in the application will be inspected. Then the marking and labeling, which is important, that you need to know how it is, and you have to start much earlier. You don't have to wait for it, because sometimes you outsource this work to a vendor, and they need to understand when they need this and what lead time they have. So everything should start well in advance. Budgeting for your approvals. Sometimes budget may run into several million of Indian rupees depending upon your products. So please budget it and time it so that you achieve your license based on the deadline. Renewal, you have to have continuous renewal process if you have several products in your factories. So it's always important to escalate here. The role of association is very important, as I mentioned in the beginning. Please stay informed and responsive to the communications from the BIS. Don't ignore them. Please respond them. If you don't understand, try to understand and try to understand what it means, but be responsive. So with this, I will open the Q&A session now. Sajja-ji, you can open the floor for the questions. I am again apologies for
Yes, please.
for the long session. I think it's 90 minutes, not 60 minutes, the content we are
Yes.
providing. Okay, so we are okay. I think let's take the questions now from the audience.
Please raise your hand. Anybody who's there's one by the name of Johnny.
Sazia, just a
Yes.
moment, but
Yes.
so many people has written the question in the chat box. So let's
Chat box.
take up some question from the chat box. Then you have to invite the people.
Okay.
It's Gagan, you are.
Yeah, I will go through the chat and then I will check who should take
Yes.
it up. Okay. Okay. Okay, so there is one question. There are two questions. We are into manufacturing of electromagnetic flow meter. We want BIS approval for it. So just give details of what standard, test lab, and how to get approval. The second question from the same participant, we are currently having one license for the flame proof enclosure, and now new product is certified for the same standard, but different marking. So do I need to apply for the new license, or can include in the same license, and how to do this? Rashmi, would you like to take this one? And do you see this question on the screen also?
Yes, I can see. So for first one, like we are into manufacturing of electromagnetic flow meter and we want BIS approval. So here, if you have already identified the Indian standard and if you find it that it is under mandatory certification requirement, then it can be like there are a few questions to answer this, whether it is a domestic manufacturing, whether you already have an Indian standard, which scheme it is following. So first, more or less, we need a scoping, maybe some information from your side, and then we can better answer that under which scheme and under which Indian standard you can apply for this certification. The second one, we are currently having one license for flame proof enclosure, and now new product is certified for same standard but different marking. So new product is certified for same standard, meaning that in same Indian standard you have two products. This is again a question. So I believe if you can share some more information over email, we can answer and we can guide over this because I missed some clarity in this question.
And it could be the case that the scope can be extended. So it has to be clarified also the original standard issuance number, and then your dealing officer. And if it is the same, we can always consult and try to solve that, how it has to be handled. So it's a straightforward, but it requires more clarity on your questions. So I believe we can stay after this in contact, and you can send us an email. Then Vikrant is saying we are into manufacturing of earth moving machines, parts like hydraulic, rock breaker, Hazel, and I wish to know whether this is any BIS standard already, meaning that is it requirement standard? I think the question one. And if there's no standard made for this already, how to get one made? So Rashmi, if you want to take
Yes,
this.
so with this earth moving machine part, I believe it will be part of Scheme X. So if you can share the HS code with us, we can confirm whether under which category your product is falling. And the second point that if there is no standard made for, then again, for Omnibus Technical Regulation, which is Scheme X, we have to default comply with 16819, which is safety and risk assessment for the machineries. And then we can further check under Schedule B and C if there is anything related to your product for any Indian standard. So at first place, we require the HSN code to clarify the applicability of BIS on your product.
Okay, then Ajay ji has mentioned how to confirm that our products are under mandatory BIS list. So this is also kind of easy, and we can also guide you if you contact us. It's a BIS website. It's a public. So you have different schemes like scheme 1. You can just go to the mandatory certification scheme 1 if you type on Google. It will land to the bis.gov.in. It will also, then there are a lot of consultant website. Please only follow the bis.gov.in, which is the government website. And there you will see the mandatory list under scheme 1, ISI mark. There are around 700 products. Then the another scheme X, again on the same website, I think in the top corner, you will see the scheme X. And in the scheme X, you will see the mandatory products that are listed. So the Omnibus Technical Regulation products and this electronic. So those you can find from the BIS website. And if you struggle, then we can provide you the web link also. You can contact through EEPC also. Then We have from Kumar, we want to import D3 material from China for HSN code 7273. We need to apply. So I think here again, yeah, Rashmi.
Yeah, I can take this. So I believe you are from chapter 72, 73, it's a steel product. And you have mentioned this from China. So for China, currently, like inspections are not happening. So we cannot comment on the completion of this. But again, it's a steel product. And before going forward for the license, just check whether it is under NOC, it falls. Like steel ministry has some different process or as well to cover many steel products. So you need to check if any NOC is applicable on your product also. So more information for clarity is required here also. But yes, if it is at all falling under the mandatory certification, steel falls under scheme 1. And with country China, it's a bit difficult to comment at this moment because inspections are not happening.
And just to add for Rashmi is that since you import, you don't manufacture, you have to ask your foreign manufacturer to apply for the certificate. Please see that they are willing to apply for the certificate, because sometimes Chinese manufacturers are a bit hesitant that why we should apply for India certification. So you have to tell them that same thing we do when we sell to China, GB certifications and other things. So they have to respect the Indian certification, and if they really want to access market, so they need to apply as an applicant. So that is also very important that you check with them, and at least application can continue. There is no harm. But whenever the inspection opens, it will open for everyone. So don't wait for, at least they can apply and submit the application as a foreign manufacturer based in China. Then Siddharth has a question. Is there any document that shows current HSN wise applicability of BIS QCO, looking for both list of importing and list of mandatory registrations? So let me add this, and Rashmi, you can complete my answer. So this is, I think, HSN code applicability. You can always check from the OTR regulation. It is also in the BIS website, and the regulation is clearly defined the HS code. Sometimes the HS code is 8-digit, 4-digit, 6-digit. So if it is 4-digit, then you have to go to all the 8-digit codes. So the products is a wide scope is there. And then for the importing, I think this is the mandatory certification, okay, wherever this is listed in the OTR. And then in the scheme 1, it doesn't go by HSN, but yes, the product name. So product name, and then you have to identify which standard it qualifies, and the standard should have that product, whether there's any exemption or not mentioned in the standard scope. So the Indian standard in scheme 1 defines the scope. That needs to be also checked by on this. And then the importing, list of importing means it's not public, but you can see from the BIS website the license holder, that is public. So the companies who hold the license for that product, for which country, whether the license is active or expired, so that is public. Government shows this information. But if your answer is still unanswered, please contact us. And Rashmi, if you have anything to add, just add.
No, it covers the answer to the question, so we can take the next one.
Okay, then Rahul is saying we make product which falls under HSN code 841, and this is power driven pump. Okay, we also have BIS license for same. Congratulations. And do we need to apply separate according to QCO if we have BIS? So I think if you, Rashmi, can take this one.
Yes. So Rahul, in case you are covered with any or other scheme, the same product, and if the HS code again coming under the OTR, then OTR regulation says that you are exempted because your product is already covered under any different scheme of BIS. So in that case, you don't need this. But yes, with some more detail, we can certainly confirm the applicability.
Yeah. And I can see that we were 81, we are still 63. So the interest is still there. Thank you very much for staying with us. So really appreciate your time. Then we have question from Magnesh. How much charges, fees are applicable in case of foreign manufacturer? I think this question I answered in my slide, and this is something based on the BIS charges and the testing charges, inspection charges. That those slide that I showed will give you a clear picture on the foreign manufacturer. So it roughly around somewhere around $20,000 or something, depending upon which product we are talking. So 15,000 to 20,000 US dollars typically it will cost. But yes, it's specific product we need to know and country we need to know. Then we have from Nilex Group, Mr. Shah is saying that our product fire water sprinkler comes under IS 9972, where there is no lab in India for testing. Even the BIS office is not aware of the testing equipment required. Please allow me to speak. So Sajyaji, you have to open, give the mic or open this up for Nilex Group because Mr. Shah wants to talk to us, it seems.
Yes, he can start.
So
Mr.
you
Shah.
unmute.
Good evening.
Yes, yes, he can.
Yes, you can
Good
unmute
evening.
and please talk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. I'm Shah here, PC Shah from Jainson's Fire Systems LLP. We manufacture fire sprinklers, and we have recently started manufacturing it, and we are yet to apply for the BIS certificate. But then we have hired one consultant, and we have gone through a lot of documentations and procedures. Where we have also had a word with the BIS office also, where they are not aware what all testing equipments are required because there are no test labs in India over here. So this is really, we are in a confusion mode where we have to go for the testing and what testing equipments are required to test to get the BIS certification.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'll take this up. So Mr. Shah, my question is IS 9972, is it under the mandatory certification list? Understand
Yes,
why?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So in case like we did this quick check on the website and we can see that there is a product manual wherein everything is defined, and your question that lab is not there. So in such case, if you have approached BIS, there is another division, BIS standard division, where we need to write regarding this lab unavailability. So maybe BIS consider your in-house factory testing if there is no BIS approved lab, or maybe they can select some of the lab. So this needs to be checked, but again, the approach should be that we connect to the specific department from the BIS, which can help us and for the this lab.
I have already connected them, and they have requested me to set up a test lab. But what all equipments are required and what is the procedure for the testing, even they are not sure. They said we have to check with the foreign labs and some other foreign manufacturer how they are doing, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay, so generally, if it is not there, maybe they need some discussion internally with different stakeholders. As you mentioned, they need to discuss with others. But allow us some time, maybe we can help and we can check the Indian standard, because Indian standard generally covers the testing methods and test equipment list. And also, I can see there is a product manual for same, which is more practical guidance document. So
Yes.
maybe we can check on this and can come back.
Yeah, maybe it
Thank
requires
you.
some deeper discussion, Mr. Shah. But I think if there has to be some way out, and if you are eager to do this, then government should be able to support you. It's just that how it has to be resolved and which channel. So please stay in contact. And then we have from
Sure.
Praveen.
Thank you.
Pleasure. We are manufacturer of electric parts, automotive, HSN code this, supplying to car manufacturer. Do we need BIS to all our parts? Is it mandatory? Please suggest. So Rashmi.
Yes, if it is 8536, I believe it falls under OTR, maybe the gears. So yes, in that case, if your HS code is falling, we need a mandatory certification.
Then we have question from Mihir Deshmukh. He requesting for page 34 on Schemax. Okay. So here is your page 34. And would you like to speak and ask a question live?
Yes. So, hi, this is Mihir. So
Yeah.
you can hear me? Yeah. We import and manufacture gearboxes and motors, hydraulic motors, hydraulic pumps. So we import them from our plants in Italy, China, and Malaysia. Okay, so for those we need to have the BIS certification for all the three parts, right?
Three manufacturing sites and the
Three
product.
manufacturers. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so if the same product is we import like it's a pump, so
Mhm,
depending on the various pump sizes, we
mhm,
manufacture we import them from maybe Italy, the bigger ones, and the
mhm,
smaller ones from China. So
mhm.
for both the components, for the both the plants, manufacturing plants, we need to have a BIS certification, and
Y-
uh, one for a
Yes,
pump and one for a gearbox, correct? Maybe the
yes.
sizes may vary, but the capacity may vary. But yes, the BIS certification is required from both the plants, correct?
Yes, your understanding is correct. And if it's a gearbox and it's a Scheme X, then we are
X.
talking about two technical files for two products. So
Yes.
license will be one, but there will be two technical file covering that license. But if you have
Okay.
two factories, then two licenses. Okay.
Okay. Each license, so each manufacturing location will have a single license
Yes.
with a different maybe two, three, four technical files
Technical
based on
files.
the
Yes,
Yes.
product.
Yes. Yes.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Precisely. Yes.
Correct.
Correct.
Great. Thanks.
Correct.
Thanks.
Welcome.
And I have one more question. If we can slide down, if may I speak?
Yes, please.
So we do trade some products. So our Italy, so majority of gearbox what we import from Italy, we trade it to our customers here in India.
Hmm.
So for those also we need to have the BIS for India unit, because or
Mm,
just a BIS for Italian unit is sufficient.
Italian unit is sufficient because they are the manufacturer of these pumps.
Right. Right.
So you will always have will always have a certification for a manufacturing site and that
Okay.
product. Now
Okay.
that once it is certified, they can sell to anybody in India through you or through and you sending to anybody else. So
Okay.
it's not that repeat. An importer, as an importer, you cannot apply because you are not the manufacturer of that product.
Okay. Great. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Then
Thank you.
Praveen is saying, in addition, we are importer of automotive parts with the number of different parts with short volumes. How we can opt BIS for each as part volumes are very less. So Rashmi, if you have anything to add, I think they may be something that they don't have to do now, but yes, it has to be done through scoping.
yes, just confirm the name of the person. I cannot see in the chat.
Praveen,
Mm,
it's Praveen
It's
Dhore.
just a second. Okay, in addition, we are importer of automotive parts with number of different parts with short volume. Okay, so your part volumes are less, but the HS code says that it is coming under the mandatory certification. So there is no option, but we have to apply because the BIS certification is not linked with the volume. So if there is certain exemption, if it is coming for suppose for R&D or for testing, there is certain exemption. But again, if it is for commercial purpose, then there is no exemption based on volume. So if it is less, then also if your HS code falls under the scheme mandatory certification, then you need to apply.
So basically, we recommend scoping, Praveen.
Yes.
Do the scoping and understand whether it requires any exemption is there for smaller volumes. So it is very clear in the orders or the regulation on the exemption. So if it is clear cut, black and white written, then you can go for it. Otherwise, it's a borderline. Then we have to consult authorities to make this assessment for you. Okay, then Rajesh ji has requesting from Lifelong India to ask the question. Yes, please.
Good evening, sir. I am Rajesh Mehra from Lifelong India.
Yes.
Basically, we are manufacturing the auto parts for international customers, and we are bound to purchase steel coil from China under Chapter 7211.
Okay.
But as per the Gazette of India, as per the Gazette of India 2020, which is published on 22nd October, says that if you are purchasing any kind of steel from China, which is again for export, there is no need of BIS. Is my statement, or if my understanding is correct?
Mm, it is in some orders it is mentioned that if you, let's say, use that product or you manufacture that product, both are same. And it is the product that you are making in India is 100% exported. So let's say you have a plant in EOU unit, export oriented unit in India, and then you don't have a local sales. You make in India and then export outside India. In those cases, certification is you can have an exemption there. Okay, but it has to
Yes.
be seen how it is written in the quality control order.
And advance authorization is the process
Sorry.
through which you can like submit this request. But again, that needs to be, as Gagan mentioned, that order needs to be read and understood, whether how it is applicable, because not every product goes for this advance authorization. So that also need to be checked once. But yes, there is a scope for this.
Yeah.
We don't have EU unit.
Yeah, so then it is a different thing that needs to be checked, Rajesh ji. So I suggest that you make a contact, as it may require further elaboration and discussion how to handle this matter.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you
We'll
for your
discuss this
understanding.
later.
Yeah. Then Mihir is again requesting marking fee for each Indian standard has to be paid or single payment is sufficient for all IS numbers. Rashmi?
Marking fee for each IS number has to be paid, or single payment is sufficient for all IS number. No, it is based on your license. So if you have one license, one Indian standard under scheme 1 means one license, and for each license you have to pay the marking fee. So it will be advanced marking fee every year. Or if you are a domestic manufacturer, maybe you get a 3-year or 4-year validity. So based on that, the calculation will happen on the number of years, and then you have to pay it per IS, per license.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Then is BIS required for traders as well? No, BIS you are not allowed to apply for BIS because it's only for manufacturers. So if you import, then you have to request your foreign supplier manufacturer to apply for the certification as foreign manufacturer.
Yes.
Is PBG required? Akash is requesting, is PBG required for each certificate or only at the time of certificate? It is for each certificate. So if you have 4 licenses, you need 4 performance bank guarantees to protect those 4 licenses. Okay. Then, yes, Nilex, I think we have requested you. We have got your questions answered. I think Mihir also, this page 34 is answered. There is some repetition now I'm getting.
Can one,
Okay, then.
there is a question from Kavita. Can one AIR be an AIR for more than one company?
Yeah, this is a
So
good
again,
question.
again, it depends, Kavita. If you are an importer, yes, you can become an AIR for multiple companies. But as an individual person, it is BIS says that one AIR for one company. If it is group company, then again, you can one AIR for one group company can work. So this is like this in the regulation. So
And now there is a clear requirement also that you have to first of all go by the subsidiary. If you have a subsidiary in India, then that should be the first preference for
right.
AIR, and then the second would be your importer. The third would be any individual, or you're using consultant, then they can support you there. Then we have some hands from Seema. Seema, if you would like to ask your question.
Hello.
Yes.
बँगेडूर तू गेलोय का आकाश?
Hello.
बरोबर आहे मी आपल्याला
Hello.
Mr. Deshmukh, Mihir Deshmukh, if you mute yourself in the intro. Thank you. Yes,
Hi, sir.
Seema.
Good evening. This
Good
is
evening.
Seema from Canco Fastener, Delhi. Actually, I have some query. We have some import from China to Delhi for the
Mm-hmm.
fasteners, nut and washer.
Mm-hmm.
That would be clubbed with our fasteners in our factory, and then we have to export the same. But now we are getting a problem here for BIS. But my factory in China, they don't have the BIS. But we need this fasteners, nut and washer to get it assembled with our fastener, and then we have to export the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any possibility that we can, because as in BIS statement, there is one point that if we are exporting the same, then BIS is not applicable. But here customs is asking us for the BIS. So, what we can do here to get it clear?
If it is, Rashmi, if it is under mandatory certification that the product you import from this Chinese manufacturer, then this
Mm-hmm.
Chinese manufacturer has to apply for the certificate. That's number one.
Okay.
Then if the product standard has certain exemption criteria based on what you do in India, then it's a secondary element that has to be checked how it is written in the order regulation, product regulation, the quality control order. So this is how it has to be like deal with. But the reason the Chinese manufacturers are not being promoted by government is clear. I don't want to say here in this forum because everybody knows that the manufacturer and they would like to see that somebody here manufacture those product. But yes, it's something needs to be checked, and then you have to take those back to this Chinese manufacturer and then guide them that this is how it should happen.
So, sir, right now, how can I check this? That what I can do here?
You can first of all check the order. What is your product quality control order as per the Indian standard? And then see the standard, how it is defined. Is there any exemption or not based on what, if you export 100% of that final goods, finished goods that you make out of this. And if not, then the raw material that you import, and if it is mandatory requirement under this order, then the Chinese manufacturer need to apply for certification to be able to get clearance from the customs.
Okay, so basically, I need to apply to my manufacturer only to get the BIS, or
Yeah,
or
if
to
it is
apply for the
mandatory.
same.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
it is in the
it is
mandatory.
mandatory. It is mandatory. But our
Then
point is, ki if we are exporting the same, then still we need the BIS. My question is that.
So, Seema, is it 100% export?
Yeah, whatever the nut and washer we are importing, we just assemble the with our other fasteners in our factory, then we will export the same.
Yeah, so in that case, you need to apply for advance authorization to DGFT. So maybe you can check more on that. So there is a provision, and maybe NOC from respective ministry may be required. So it's a process of advance authorization, wherein for such cases we are importing anything which falls under this mandatory certification, but it is meant for 100% export.
Okay.
Nothing to be locally sold.
Used locally.
Yes, yes. Then you may apply for advance authorization and can import. So you can justify customs as well that this is already under advance authorization. Then
So, ma'am,
maybe they
can
will
I
not.
take help of anyone, or can from where I get help to get this advance authorization? Anyone who can guide
Seema,
us?
you maybe for DGFT purpose, if you have your CHA, maybe we can help you because the guidances are there.
Okay.
They may help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Any clearing agent can help you there, Seema. Okay, so there are
Okay,
plenty
sir.
of them. Choose them wisely.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so then we have, thanks for this question. Then we have from Deepak Bansal, is every manufacturer required the BIS certificate for HSN code pub? Yes. Yes, if you are manufacturing, then you need to manufacture those pumps in India, you need BIS certificate. And the deadline for pumps is, I think, September next year, Rashmi, 2026.
Yes, but I think the HS code Deepak has shared needs to be checked because all HS codes are not there for pump also. So 841390, maybe we can check and confirm. If it is falling, then of course you need.
Yeah, you can check with us or you can check the OTR regulation. Okay. Then Magnesh, can we make single BIS for the products which fall under similar HSN heading, example 8479? So this is something which Rashmi would like to take.
So can we make single BIS for the product which falls under similar HSN code? But no, maybe that again depends if it is entirely different product, although it's under the same HS code. Maybe we have different technical files it is required. So we can cover under the single license always and with separate technical files.
Okay. Okay, then Magnesh have couple of more questions. We are the manufacturer. We will also allow Rajesh ji to speak in a while. I'm just carrying forward with Magnesh that we are the manufacturer of industrial parts, cleaning machines in Pune, HSN code this. So our desk team is doing some research. If they have some result on this HSN code, do they need BIS certification? Rashmi, if you...
Yes, 8479 falls under this mandatory certification.
Okay, so Magnesh, you need certification. Please start this process as soon as possible. Then Rajesh ji, you can now speak, please, your question, as you have a very important question to ask. Are you there?
So I'm Mangesh. I have one more question. Can I talk?
Okay.
Actually, we import few of the products which are CE certified or UL certified. Whether there is any list of other standards which are equivalent to BIS, whether we have any list that in those cases, if those are certified by international standards, then BIS certification is not needed.
No, at the moment there is no guidance or regulatory update that if you hold CE certification, you can get exemption from the BIS certification. You need to apply for BIS certification if it is mandatory, if it's falls under mandatory certification, your product. So there is no exemption on global recognition. There could be something based on the trade negotiations with Europe on coming up in August in US. But at the moment, you need to consider BIS certification, and these regulatory changes may take years to come and may not come also. So don't wait, just apply for certification. Then
This previous it requires BIS 847990.
Yes, we answered just now that it requires certification.
This is, if you see the OTR order, serial number 13, all type of machines, including machine for public work and building and machinery and mechanical appliances, having individual functions. So this is the category for 84799090.
Yeah. Okay, so I think Rajesh ji has left, and sorry that we could not take you. If you are still there, then please ask your question.
Can I ask a question, sir? I am Swaminathan of.
Yes, please. We can take the questions. The chat will continue. I don't think it will end. But yes, let's take the questions from the audience now. And Rashmi, let the team, we can also answer the chat if you want to answer.
Hello.
We will take question from Mr. Swaminathan. I think he was the first one. So please.
Yes.
Sorry.
This is, see, we are a manufacturer of welding consumables. We are located in Pondicherry. See, we got our products licensed by BIS. See, when we import machinery for manufacture of our products, do we require any BIS certification for the machinery to be imported?
Yes. Yes. So machinery is a recent order, Scheme X, and there is an OTR regulation, Omnibus Technical Regulation. There are many machines listed with the HSN codes. So you need to see which machine and what machine is this. And then this application will be by this foreign manufacturer who's sending you that machine. They need to apply for that license. You will not apply as an importer, but they will apply as foreign manufacturer of this machine. Okay, so this needs to be checked and from the Scheme X.
We can contact you for any clarification.
Yes, yes, please. Yes, please. The contact, I have opened the contact slide, so please take a picture or whatever. If you want to contact us, please use this contact details.
Sir,
we'll be getting...
I have one question. Myself Shashank from Nevo Controls Private Limited in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Yeah, I have just one question. I have put it on the message box also. We are having one license in the flame-proof enclosure for against the standard of 60079-1. So these are the flame-proof enclosures. Now again, we are having one license under that, but now we have applied one more product is being certified, but the marking, it is again for the flame-proof enclosure itself, but the marking is for the gas group 2C. Earlier it was 2B. So do I need to take a new license, or can I take a inclusion in the same license number?
There was some break in your voice, but I think, Rashmi, is this case for additional
I need to check details first. Yeah, I need to
yes.
check details before we can
So-
confirm whether it can be included, like being grade inclusion, or it is altogether separate. I
Okay.
need to study.
So what I'll do is I'll drop
So-
a mail to your Gagan.Kumar and Rashmi Srivastava
Yeah, just
and
yeah,
info reach mail.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah, please contact us because the case specific would be easier to address separately.
Yes.
True.
Then Rahul is saying, hello, BIS is applicable for equipments or spare parts. So I think, Rashmi, you can take this one.
Sir,
So,
sir, can I speak in between? I'm really sorry. I've been waiting for a while.
Yes, please.
Just a small question, sir. I'll just be leaving after that.
Yes.
Just for introduction, I'm from Lanwas. We are basically exporters for diesel generators, sir. We export diesel generators from India to all over Gulf countries and etc. My sole question was actually I'm planning for this BIS registration of ours. We'll be hiring an agent for the same, sir. Sure. The thing is the motto of joining the meeting today was to get to the know-how of how the registration process goes, and also like a little insight into what is it. Okay, and
Yeah.
maybe the meeting was really helpful for me. My sole question here is ki, would I be getting the PPT PDF, the presentation that you have been running here?
yes,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think
Yeah.
EEPC will share this with you.
Yes.
Sure. Also, just like a layman suggestion I'm taking from you guys because you guys are professionals. I'm a diesel generator manufacturer and I have been running business in India as well as exports also. Will this BIS registration be useful to me or no? As per the my field of manufacturing.
So first of all, this is a mandatory requirement, Government of India, to allow you to manufacture those products in India. Okay, so if you are manufacturing that product, so it is basically to allow you to manufacture those products, you need to have the BIS certification. And then comes the export market, whether the exports to other countries will help you with this certification, meaning that those information that goes inside and whatever infrastructure that you have will be something that you can use. So that is something from the standard that you are using for the certification. But yes, it's a kind of regulatory compliance, like you have your certificates for other compliances. For that,
Yeah,
similarly,
sure.
that you have to have a certification to manufacture that diesel in India generator. That's
Yes.
something I would like to share. Okay.
Maybe I have been able to do that because it comes under assembly most of the time, right? Gensets are most of it is here in India is assembly, not manufacturing, to be honest. Right? Because we are procuring engines, alternators, XYZ, all these components from XYZ companies who are appointing OEMs in India, and we are not manufacturing engines here. So maybe that's why I have been being able to do that without the this BIS certification.
I think for assembly now, because if I see this diesel generator with HS code 8502 or 8503 now is under mandatory certification with a deadline of September 2026. So maybe you
Yeah, that's why planning, ma'am.
So as of now, this is not implemented, and hence you don't face any trouble or any challenge. But after this deadline, even if you are assembling it your unit, it will be applicable.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thanks a lot for your guys. Thanks a lot for the time. It was really helpful, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right.
Pleasure. Okay, then we will take a couple of more and then let's end this session because it's quite long and now I have another meeting in 15 minutes. So then I think Akash is saying that we have a consolidator in China who buys various products from Chinese supplier and sells to us in India. Do I have to ask consolidator for each manufacturer to have? Yes. Answer is yes. So this each product, if it is falling under mandatory certification produced at those Chinese factories, they need to have certifications to be able to send these goods into India. Then there are questions related to the consultant charges. I think we will not use this forum to share this information. Please send the formal request by email and we will make a quote and you will see the charges there. Okay. So I think Sajiji, we have completed all the questions. I believe I have covered all the questions and answered those via chat and some of them also by
Hello,
Shubham.
sir.
You wants to say something
Yes,
and ask
yes.
something?
Actually,
Yeah.
hello, everyone.
Yeah.
So, sir, we are manufacturers of safety devices for HEMM. These are all the mining machineries that I'm talking about. So, we have successfully manufactured many of the safety devices here in India itself. But there are few products that we are unable to manufacture because of the constraints that we are facing right now as of technology. So one such device is proximity device, which you guys might have seen gets installed into a car, which actually detects the obstacles, right? So is it necessary for us to get a BIS for the same? It falls under the HSN 85258900.
Let me check the
And
HS code you have shared, 85258977.
8900.
So 8525, I believe Shubham is not part of OTR, but with this device, we also need, because scoping something means like we are checking in the all the certification under scheme 1 or scheme 2. So all the mandatory certification of BIS. So maybe we can check under scheme 1. Scheme 2, I don't believe it will fall because it's for IT electronics. But scheme 1, if you shared the product specification, maybe we can check and confirm. But for scheme X, we see that HS code doesn't fall.
For the
yeah,
HS 8525.
Yeah, 8525 is not a part of OTR order.
scheme X.
Okay, I have
But
one
I
more question.
suggest keep checking on these regulatory developments as more products will be included in Scheme X in future. So please keep a watch
So,
on what is coming next. Okay.
shall I now see it like I don't need a BIS certificate as of now?
As Rashmi mentioned, Shubham, go through a proper scoping so that other schemes are also, which doesn't go by HSN code by product name. So if you conclude this has to be understanding other schemes of BIS, like Scheme 1, which has around 700 products, and then Scheme 2, which is likely not to be there. So understand all the schemes, products, mandatory, and then make a conclusion that it doesn't require certification. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have one more question. So we are recently about to.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So we have recently put out a manufacturing assembly plant for the PCB. So all these components you have seen might have getting placed into the PCB itself. So do I need a separate BIS for that as well, or, or does it fall at all in the BIS category?
PCB, Rashmi, I think it's Scheme 2. Probably it is should be there if they are making it, but needs to be checked. If you
Yes,
send
it
your
needs
email
to
and
be.
some product details, I think it's easier for us to, because we have different team checking, and you can imagine several thousands of product are there.
Sure, sure.
So specific answer can come by email, which help you to manage your business better.
Sure, okay. Okay. I'll do that.
Thank you for your understanding. Yes. Yes, Ajit ji, if you have any questions, let's take this
Uh,
final question
yes,
from this
sir.
session.
We are a bicycle manufacturer in Pune.
one of the components we are recently wanted to import. It is HSN code 8714990. So I just wanted to know whether BIS is compulsory for that.
So again, 8714, we don't see under the order.
Okay, so BIS is not required.
So this is again with the HS code, we are saying that it is not, but as we answered to the previous participant also, that we need product detail and specification to thoroughly check that it is not part of any of the mandatory certification under BIS.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
let's
so let's
conclude
conclude.
this, Gagan.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Gagan, and thank you, Rashmi, for this so much informative session. And hope we are going to have more such sessions in future. And thank you for everybody for attending the same. Yes, Mr. Mangesh.
Sorry, madam. I have last question.
Please
sorry,
take
quick.
it offline because now it's
I have a
over. You
meeting,
can
so
yes. So please drop me a mail. You all have my mobile number, my email ID. This is Shazia from EEPC India. So you can drop me a mail and I will connect you with Gagan and Rashmi.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you once again, Gagan and Rashmi. Thank you.
Thank you, Sajaji,
Pleasure
for
always.
this.
Okay.
Pleasure
Okay.
always. Hope it
Bye.
was useful.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.